Alright, hello and welcome everybody. It is still I, Ace. I'm going to make a let's play of the vanilla server of World of Warcraft, obviously. I haven't done a let's play in quite a while. I tend to do them every few months, or I used to do them more frequently in the past. In the past it was primarily because for work purposes, because I wanted to test the logic, I wanted to see what issues there are, what things I can still implement, and after each session I would have a giant list of things to do, and hopefully, as let's say the development of vanilla has rather reached its final point or points, well, there are still things I want to do. I still have to work on the PvP side. If I wasn't working on the TPC server, I would be working on the PvP side, but it's not lost on me. It's still on my to-do list, still something I want to do, and all that jazz. Still, I'm not a robot. I don't work all day anymore. So I'm going to play. Hopefully just for fun this time, not just to work, but for fun. So we're gonna start on a new account from scratch. No cheaties, no tricks, no nothing. Just straight up play the game, see how it goes, and we're gonna do it together. I'll probably end up cutting these videos because obviously playing the game takes many hours, and we'll see how it goes. I'll try to explain some of the game as I play it, rather the features of the server, what are the things you should know probably as a new player, and I'll be doing all the things, yeah, just like straight up normal stuff. And yeah, hopefully it'll be interesting. I'm definitely gonna have fun. I intend to have, if possible, like, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself, let's just see how it goes, but I want to prepare for TPC as well. I want to do it on a new account instead of my old account where I have all these characters, because if I'm going to start the series, it'll be a way for you to follow along and see what I'm doing, and hopefully, you know, because if I drop you on my main account where I have all these other characters, then it's gonna be, you won't be so attached to it perhaps. But what I would like to do, and I'm not even saying that I can do it because it will take a stupid amount of time. Not that I'm in a hurry in particular. What I would like to do is have just one of every class and maybe one horde character, just for cross-faction summoning. And just have one of each. Just play one class each. We'll see how far I can go. I'm not promising anything, but it's what I would like to do if I manage. So let's just get into it. I did log in before just to set up my user interface with my add-ons and everything. Well, just briefly, because I think PFUI is great as it goes out of the box. Cool. So maybe give me a second, let me lower the volume because it's really loud for me and it's probably not gonna be too loud for you. Let me see if I can adjust. Right. What to look for as a new player on the server. Right off the bat in your inventory, you are granted the wonderful manual of companion commands. And if you open this, it will take you through some of the commands that I would say are of the more importance on the server for you to know how to control the companions. Okay, so here are the levels of importance where commands are necessary to achieve your goals. Low importance, general gameplay like open world questing and roaming and stuffs, which is what we'll be doing most of. Medium importance, dungeons and elite quests that require a group to clear. What do I mean by this? I mean, if you wanna do dungeons efficiently and wanna survive and not actually baby wipe many times, then consider learning how to use commands. Get familiar with the control panel. I'll try to explain as I'm playing, as I go along, what are the things that I do. I'll try to keep it maybe a little bit more casual, whatever that means, to be honest. I don't know. I'll just try to explain some of my thought process behind the things that I do. I'm by no means like a super expert or anything. There are many more people playing on my server that are better than me. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, my experience, I did play the game, through the game, the whole thing. We did the whole progression, so I'm very familiar with all the stuffy stuffs, but it's been a while, so I'm a little bit rusty, and I'm also a little bit kind of casual. So, but hopefully just applying some knowledge we can do without pressing too many buttons. So I'm going to rely more on the companions to get the job done, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, for general gameplay, don't really worry about the commands as you're questing. Just right-clicking stuff should be enough. If you want to do dungeons, and we will be doing dungeons, then consider having some macros with commands if you don't like clicking. I'm not going to make macros, just to maybe simulate what more casual people would do, and I would like to consider myself a casual as well. I'm gonna fill my bars with consumables and all sorts of stupid stuff, so I'm probably not gonna have much room left anyway. High importance raids. If you want to raid and you want to be proficient at it and you want to actually succeed, then knowing how to control your companions is very important. We'll do some of the basic quests as well that explain, well, how to control them in a practical way. As you go through the commands manual, you'll have some explanation of some of the commands that I don't think it's all of them, but at least the important bits. Beginning with start, and on each page of the manual you'll have a new command, then stop. First will start, then stop, then come, and so on. And for each different command there will be an explanation as to what should you expect from this command. You can use the command in chat when you type it in, z start. The things here in the squares are different arguments you can pass to this command. So for example, if you only wanted to send your tanks in to attack, you would pass the argument for roll tank, and this would only send the tanks in, but nobody else. So no healers, DPS obviously not at all. And you can also further say, add an argument that says not, meaning send everybody but not the tanks, meaning send the DPS in to attack, that sort of thing. And it says here, even without using the command, the companions will automatically assist you when you get into a fight, or even just right-clicking an enemy regardless of your range from them. This is what we'll be doing, just right-click stuff, they should go attack, and all that good stuff. I don't really want to read all this stuff to you. You definitely can read it yourself. And when you talk to the first NPC in any starting zone,
Hello.
in this case is Deputy Willem here, he'll have a short introductory text, a little bit of a role-playing greeting, let's say. And if you somehow miss your manual and you'd like another one, each one of the starting NPCs will have one for you, a duplicate. You cannot have two of them, I believe. Okay, so if you... oh, you can have two of them. I'm wrong. There you go. You can have two of them. I'm not going to keep any of them because I don't need the knowledge. But I would recommend you at least go through the first pages of the manual just to familiarize yourself with what I would consider to be some of the more important commands, just to get an idea. Then I highly recommend, no matter what you do, that you pick up the basic quests. You have the first quest that he gives you is the normal vanilla quest. This one, you know, gives you XP and all that stuff. But the basic quest is a custom quest that's only going to be on the server. It tries to make you use some of the basic commands to get you used to them, to learn how to do it. Okay, so when you open this, it will say the companions are adventurers who will join your group for a fee. They are pretty convenient in general, but if you don't know how to control them, they can become very inconvenient when it matters the most. I want you to hire a companion and practice ordering them around. You can use the companion's control panel to make it easier on yourself. And yet, again, it gives you some brief information about what the commands do. Start will send your companions to attack a hostile target. If you had previously paused or stayed them, they will clear those statuses automatically. We will make a lot of use of this command, which is why it's mentioned the first, both in this quest and in the companion manual, commands manual. Yeah, stop is also important because you'll make them disengage from combat and to follow you. Use this to make a companion disengage from an enemy who's attacking them. And then there's some mention about come stay and come toggle, all this great stuff. And it says here, use the following commands either from the companion's control panel or by typing them in chat. We'll be using the control panel because we ain't got no time to type. Hints for completion. You may want to read these. Start, it says, make sure you use this on different targets. So, you know what? Let me explain that just in a second. Let me go actually hire a companion. Let's pick up this quest. It also gives you a scroll of spirit on purpose because on this server, any spirit bonus that you have will grant you a bonus to your experience. This goes up to 100. So if you have 100 bonus spirit, you get 100 bonus experience. And you cannot get any more past that. So this 3 spirit here would mean 3% extra experience. We are going to make use of that. If you read the tooltip for spirit here, it does still all the general stuff, right? Like health and mana regeneration. But in addition to that, it also increases experience from defeating monsters. So not by doing quests, but killing monsters. Increases movement speed in spirit form. When you're dead and you're trying to get to your corpse, that's where this is applied. Decreases resurrection sickness duration. You don't get resurrection sickness at low levels, but as you go higher in level, you start to occur this. And the more you die, I think the higher that one goes, but spirit reduces that. So it's a nice amount of features for spirit, which was otherwise overlooked, and nobody really wanted this stat. But I think just because of the experience change primarily, it is rather interesting, right? So we'll be looking for gear with spirit, and then we'll have to make a decision if it comes to that, should we stack more spirit or should we go for other stats, like maybe strength in our case, because we're a warrior and that would be our main stat for damage. Anyway, let's pick up the basic quests and let's also...
I hope you strapped your belt on tight, young adventurer, because there is work to do here in Northshire, and I don't mean farming. The Stormwind Guards are hard-pressed to keep the peace here, with so many of us in distant lands and so many threats pressing close. And so we're enlisting the aid of anyone willing to defend their home and their alliance. If you're here to answer the call, then speak with my superior, Marshal McBride. He's inside the abbey behind me.
Right. What you have heard here is one very, very cool add-on called voiceover. There you go. You can find us on our Discord. You can just Google it and get it. It will voice the quests. So if you like to hear what I have to say instead of just reading the quests, if you ever read them, I personally like lore stuff and like to get into the RPO stuff when I play. I will not well, in this video I have to cut things short. Obviously it's going to take a very long time to play and level up and all this stuff. So I highly recommend you get this add-on yourself if you enjoy listening to the lore and the quests. I personally enjoy it, so I'll be doing this. When I'm not talking or narrating over the video, I will be listening to the quests and to the sounds of the game and try to get immersed and all that jazz. So I highly recommend the voiceover add-on. But first things first, let's go get a companion. So the easiest way for you to get a companion is to sell the tough jerky or whatever food you get when you start the game for 4 copper. Just talk to any of the vendors who should be nearby your character where you spawn. Sell this to them, you get 4 copper, and then go back to Deputy Willem or whatever the name of the starting NPC is, the one you spawn right next to when you create your first character and you log in.
Hey there.
And here you can also talk to him, ask him who are the companions. He's gonna give you some lore friendly stuff, as they are a vast network of adventurers spread around Azeroth, each pursuing their own path to glory and fame, yada yada yada. You can read that yourself if you'd like. But we are going to click the hire companion button. He's gonna ask which of your characters would you like to use for hiring. Once you have more characters on your account, you can use them to hire as well. For now, let's keep it simple and just click our own character. He's asking which license would you like to use. Licenses come into play after level 60. That's how you're going to gear up your characters past the point, at that point, right? So they, at level 60, they will still use rather not good gear. They have green gear, which is of the uncommon variety or something. And for them to get better gear, you need to get licenses. And to obtain licenses, you'll need to kill bosses in raids and dungeons. Not in that order. For now, we are still leveling up, so we don't have access to any license. It says T0 here. That's licenses go into 5 tiers. Well, 6 if you like to call T0. But the actual licenses that you get go from tier 1, which is the dungeon license, the one you have to kill some dungeon bosses for. And then the other 4 come from raids, so you have to kill Ragnaros and Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, AQ40 and Naxxramas in that order to upgrade your licenses. This is maybe more info that you need for the beginning, but this is what T0 means. It refers to the license, or lack thereof, I should say. And then it says 1 copper. That is how much is going to cost to hire 1 companion. You can have up to 1 companion at this level. Later on we'll unlock the ability to gain more, up to 4. That's why we're going to do the basic quests. That's what they do. They unlock more companions for you to, or the possibility for you to hire more companions. It costs 1 copper. We sold the jerky. We have 4 copper, so we can afford to do so. Now, it says you can hire quickly by role, or you can take your time and customize them just the way you like. I'm going to say it now, even though it's not going to be very obvious from watching this screen right now, but the minus 25% is actually a discount. So if, let's say, later on a companion would cost, instead of 1 copper, it would cost 1 silver, then you'd only pay 75 copper for him if you were to go with the quick option. And let's click on the quick option for now, and it asks you which role would you like. So this is the final choice that you have to make here. You can either choose a tank, a healer, or DPS. DPS means at random either a melee DPS or a range DPS. Now, also very important that I would like to mention is reputation. Now, on this server, well, I need to explain something a little bit. I actually did play on my warrior a little bit before, so maybe I should have reset this before doing this let's play. So my bad everybody, I completely forgot about it. I had the level 20 warrior and I wanted to start over, but I did accumulate some reputation, which may even go to prove my next point, which is on this account reputation is account wide on the faction. So if you only play alliance characters, then all of them will share the same reputation. If you play horde characters, all of them will share the same reputation. However, they do not share it across the faction, which means if you have like maxed out reputation on your alliance characters, your horde characters, if you haven't played them at all, they will not have any reputation. Normally what's supposed to happen is when you start a new character, all your reputation should start at 0 neutral, because I played to level 20 on my warrior and I forgot that I had this extra reputation and I forgot to reset it, and I didn't want to make a new account, so I don't remember a new account and a new password. I just did this instead. So kind of my bad, apologies for it, but then again, not the worst thing that can happen, because now I get the chance to explain something very important, which is what you can hire. The races that you can hire are tied to your reputations. For example, because I am neutral with Darnassus, I cannot hire Night Elves. Because I am friendly with Ironforge and Stormwind, I can hire both humans and dwarves. However, when you hire by role, you're gonna get, let's say, a tank at random, and it's going to pick from one of the reputations that you are friendly with and that you have access to. In this case, it's gonna pick from Stormwind, from humans and dwarves. You cannot get at the moment Night Elves and Gnomes. So that's what I will get. If I go with tank, it's gonna be a 50-50 between a human and a dwarf. Let's not do this at the moment. Let's go to custom. And when you go to custom, you can select specifically what you want. So let's say, for example, that I wanted a priest. And let's say that I wanted the range DPS. And then you can see it when it asks you what race do you want. If you were to start a human, even though you are starting neutral with humans, you would still get access to humans because you are a human yourself. If you were to start, say, a dwarf, then you would have access to dwarves. If you are starting a night elf, you would have access to night elves, and everything else would still be neutral, and you'd have to grow your reputations. Again, all the reputations are account wide. Once you are at friendly on your account or whatever, it's never gonna go away. You're not gonna lose it anymore. It's there for you forever. So if you start a new character, let's say, for example, now I have honored or whatever with Stormwind and friendly with Ironforge. If I were to start a Night Elf character, then even though normally you start at neutral with all the reputations, because I have these on already gained, then I would be able to hire as a Night Elf both Night Elves but also dwarves and humans. Okay, so that's how it goes. So it's pretty important, let's say, that you pay attention to this. And if you were wondering why can I not hire a druid, is because druids come from Night Elves and you may be neutral to them still. The easiest way I find, and it's what you'll have recommended by the community, is that you create a new character if you'd like. I don't really need this, I don't recommend it, but other people might recommend you to do this, is to start a new character and just do the first zone quests, and that will get you to friendly. It's just how it is. You'll have enough reputation to get to friendly by doing the starting zone, or not the starting zone, but the first area like Elwyn Forest. If you finish all the quests in that area, you'll likely get to, not likely, but for sure you're gonna get to friendly. You can do that. I personally don't think it's necessary because there are many zones later on that we can do quests in to increase our reputations with those factions. And in fact, you should consider that, and I want you to consider that, because normally maybe when you play you don't really have a goal, you don't really have a plan, you just maybe follow some guide, or you do quests by the year, whatever. But keeping this in mind, that reputation is important to unlocking different races and different classes in this case, because classes are tied to races in the case of druids and night elves, then you might want to plan accordingly. So if you really want a druid for some reason, then once you get out of your starting zone, you might want to start making your way towards elven lands. And it's pretty easy to, well, maybe it's not so easy, but it's a little bit intuitive to know where you're gonna get reputation for the desired faction. Because, for example, if you do quests for humans, you're gonna get human reputation, most likely. If you do quests for dwarves, same thing, and same thing for elves. You're going into Aberdeen or whatever, and you do quests for the elves, they're gonna give you elvish reputation. So that's how I actually am going to plan around this. So after we're finished with the human starting zone, we are going to go to Darkshire, Darkshore, Aberdeen, Darnassus, that sort of thing, and start questing around there just to get our Darnassus reputation to friendly, so we can get some druids. For now, let's just get a priest, I suppose. So what you can do here is, see, you can choose between a human and a dwarf, or you can say finalize customization if you don't particularly care which one you're gonna get. Honestly, it doesn't matter past your preference that much. Different races have small bonuses, let's say, but for leveling up it is truly inconsequential. So we're just gonna click finalize customization. If you look, well, you cannot see the chat, but it will say in the chat that you have hired. Let me do one thing so it doesn't confuse everybody. Let's restart this. In the chat, it will let you know, even though you cannot see the chat right now, that you have hired one companion for 1 copper. That's how much we paid for it. You can see the copper. We had 4, now we have 3. And it will say that you will unlock a second companion after you complete the quest Basics 2. Now right now we have the quest Basics 1 that asks us to use some commands. Okay, so we'll be doing that. Now this guy, yeah, it turns out he's a human after all. We didn't pick the gender. If we had gone through the customization, we eventually could have picked the gender as well. But it is what it is. We're not sorry about it. So what does this say here? We have to use start, we have to use stop, we have to use come stay, we have to use come toggle. Now it says for tips here, for come stay, put some distance between you and your companion at least 5 yards. Okay, so let's start doing this. I do see from time to time people on Discord saying that they struggle to do these quests. I would recommend that you use the control panel. You can even click the mini UI button here just to make it smaller, and then you can click the come stay button here. It's not gonna count for our quest for the simple reason that we need to be more than 5 yards away from the companion when we use this command. So if we do this, you'll see it counted for come stay, which is great. If we go a little bit further and we click come minus T, so minus S is come stay, come minus T is come toggle. So we can come toggle him and he'll come to our position. Maybe I should mention what these commands do. So obviously come stay, well, okay, come, the simple come command will simply get your companion to come to your position, okay? So wherever you are, he's just gonna come to you. That's fine. If he's already close to you, probably nothing is going to happen. If you say come stay, he will come to your position and he will stay there for as long as, for until you tell him otherwise. If you say come toggle, then he will come to your location, he will stay there for as long as you stay there, but as soon as you move around, then he's going to follow you. This is great for trying to get him through, well, let's say more difficult areas or situation, because as he's normally following you around, he's actually following you at a distance, and this distance may be too dangerous depending on what you're doing. So maybe you're trying to sneak past a pack of mobs and you don't want him to aggro them. You could just spam come a bunch of times, but it'll be very annoying for you. You can also spam come stay a bunch of times, but it'll also be annoying for you. And as you see, as we keep using this command, the quest will also count. Okay, so the best way, if you really want to have him continuously come and stay at your location, is to use come toggle, which will do exactly that. You'll see he'll closely follow you and just be very, very close to you, or rather even on the same spot as you. So that is that. What else can we do? What else can we do? Well, let's start doing some quests. Well, no. Let me just finish the command, doing the command or the basics quests, just to get this out of the way, and then I'll go on my merry way and do some quests, and I will talk to you when I have something to say or something important is happening. So, as instructed, for the start command, make sure you use this on different targets. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on any enemy, whichever one it may be, and you're gonna hit the start button, which is here. You can also alternatively type it in, which is Z start.
Attack over here!
And you see that your companion has gone up ahead and started hitting the monster. It's very good. Yeah, you can also loot the thing. And let me show you what it means by you have to select different targets. If I were to issue this command on the same wolf here, it would not work. I mean, it wouldn't count for the quest, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you have to just click start on a bunch of enemies, and that will take care of that. Easy peasy. Now, the next thing it asks us to do actually is to use stop. And for stop, it suggests that make sure your companion is being attacked. And as you've seen, because we used start earlier, he was getting attacked by the wolf. So let's get him to attack the wolf again. And now let's press stop. And you see he has been, he stopped attacking and now he's just following us, right?
On your guard.
Let's get him to attack the wolf again. Let's press stop again, and that counts again. Let's start again, and then let's stop again. And that's it for the quest. And now let's just finish the wolf off. Alright, well, that was it. That was it for the quest. I would say it's pretty easy. You get the Scroll of Spirit, which I intend to make full use of it. And Bob is your uncle. But actually, I think we have to go all the way to the city, because you see here it says, speak with the companion representative at the innkeeper in the city to receive your reward. The city referring to any of them really, any city. You can go to Darnassus, you can go to Ironforge, it don't matter, bro. Go to any city you would like and speak with the innkeeper representative. So there's going to be an NPC custom for the server right next to the innkeeper. Speak with him to get the reward. Yeah, that is basic. Let me do one thing if I haven't already. There's a command. So for example, right now there's a double XP event happening, and I would like to level at well, without the double XP from the event. So what you can do is you can type in set event off just to disable receiving event XP, double XP. I don't particularly want it, I don't need it, I enjoy playing just normally. But I will make use of stuff like spirit and things of that nature. There's also legacy. You can type in legacy, and in the legacy what happens is that as you level up more and more characters on your account, all of these start to contribute towards your legacy. And what this does is give you different bonuses like experience, reputation. If you max out your crafting profession on a character, you also gain crafting bonuses, all sorts of things. You also have account-wide, through this legacy system, you have account-wide map exploration, and you can also opt into receiving the experience for it. And you also have the account-wide flight points also through the legacy. So the more flight points you discover, the more of the map you discover, the yeah, you can have that on your other characters as well. So you don't have to do these many times if you don't want to. You can turn these options off, legacy settings, on and off however you want. Like if you didn't want the XP bonus, you could type in legacy settings XP off, and when turn it off, you can turn it back on if you'd like to. You can turn legacy off altogether. So if you don't want any bonuses, like for example Hearthstone cooldown, if you don't care about that stuff, no problem, just turn it off. It will say inactive and Bob's your uncle. You can play without any bonuses. You can even play without the spirit bonus. You'll have to die for that, unfortunately. And once you die, you'll reach a graveyard automatically, and at the graveyard there will be a spirit healer. In this case, you'll be right here. You cannot see it because he's a spirit, but it'll be right here. You can talk to him and you can disable the extra XP bonus from spirit. So that's it. You can disable the XP from events, you can disable the XP from spirit, you can disable the XP from legacy. You can, there's also some bonus from a shirt that you can acquire by providing some materials and money to some NPC in the city if you want more XP. So you have a whole bunch of options for XP. I am probably going to use spirit, and maybe that's it, just because I don't really need to level up too quickly. So I think there's also XP from doing heroic dungeons, but that's, we can discuss about that later on when we're actually doing dungeons. For now, I'm not sure if there's more that is important to explain. I went for a human priest, or rather a priest, just because he can both attack and heal me at the same time. I think for now you can only hire one companion, and that should be plenty to get the starting quests done. For you to get a second companion, you'll have to do the second basic quests, and you have to go speak with the representative guy next to the innkeeper in any of the city of your choosing.
Good day to you.
If you talk to this hiring NPC again and you say hire companions, it will tell you here that you are maxed out. You have count 1, that means 1 companion, and you are already at the maximum, so you cannot hire anymore. If you try, Well, it will actually tell you that you can hire a second companion at level 10. I'm not sure if that's still the case. I should probably correct that. You can hire a second one after you complete the Basics 2 quests. And maybe that also requires level 10. I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out. But either way, you have to complete the quest. It's not level bound, so to speak.
See you later.
So, I'll be doing some quests. I don't think I need to explain how questing works. You can figure that out and enjoy that on your own. And I'll probably cut the video to when more interesting stuff is happening, or when I want to explain more of the commands, for example. But for now, let's get to questing.
Hey, citizen, you look like a stout one. We guards are spread a little thin out here, and I could use your help.